Hey everybody, welcome back to Battlestar Galactica Remembered, and today we're going back to the prop category, and we are taking a look at I think, one of the coolest little props you could ever get, Colonial currencies. We're going to be looking at Orion Cheques and Cubits, and they were always one of my favorite things when I saw Battlestar originally. And the good news about it is that, at least for the Cubits, you can get them, and they are actually the cheapest per item price that you're ever going to get for a Battlestar prop, believe it or not, and they are available. Now, first off, we're going to go with Orion Cheques. Now, you may remember, and here's my little stash of Orion Cheques, and I'm going to put some pictures up for you, don't worry, but these are them. Now, Orion Cheques come in two different sizes. There's a large one and a small one, and they have certain little lines and designs on them that are different. But Orion Cheques were primarily referenced, for the most part, in the episode The Magnificent Warriors, where Starbuck is playing Bogan for the Constable badge and all that kind of stuff. And you can actually see them on there. And I also have a picture of screen-used ones that I want to put up here for Cubits and Orion Cheques. But you don't see these too often. And this was, I got these. These are resin, okay? So these are just plastic resin. They came in just a normal, regular old gray resin when I got them. I have two sets of them. This was a prop maker who was part of the Black Star Squadron. They were, it was a B-board. It was put together, and I was a member of that. That was an elite, Battlestar Galactica costuming group. You can still see their Pro Boards B-board. It's still there today. Not too active, but there's a few of us who are still on there. And that's, again, the Black Star Squadron. And you can find a lot of great information about costuming and props and all that kind of stuff. And there was a gentleman on there who was doing a lot of cool props. And Orion Cheques were one of them. And he offered a set of 3 large ones and 3 small ones. And I got 2 sets. So that's why I have 6 large and 6 small. And like I said, I've got the picture up so you can see them up close. These are no longer available. I think they were like $15 a set or something like that back in the day. This is around the late 2000s, 2009 or 10, if I'm correct. But unfortunately, he does not any longer have any of his Battlestar molds, and so he does not do them anymore. I have never seen any of these offered in an actual metal. It would be totally cool if these were done in metal, but they're not. But one thing I just do want to mention here, and I never even really noticed this, but on one side of the larger Orion Cheque, you can actually see, and like I said, I got a close-up of it, there are the 4 suits of what we would normally have in an Earth card set: the clubs, the diamonds, the hearts, and the spades. They're in there, which is really cool, I think. So anyway, whoever designed that put those into the larger Orion Cheque designs. But anyway, again, Orion Cheques no longer available. There's just nobody making them, and he was the only one I ever knew who ever made these. But they're just really cool props. There was also one variation of these, by the way, in the episode The Men with 9 Lives, when they're on the shuttle going over to the Rising Star. The guy who is going on getting the coins like for the shuttle to pay for your trip, they used either red or blue Orion Cheques. They were painted either metallic red or metallic blue. Now, I've never wanted to do that. I kind of want to keep these. I spray painted these myself because they came in, like I said, just a regular gray resin. And so I painted them with the shiny gold. Never have wanted to do that, I guess. I could maybe do one in red and one in blue or something like that. But that was a variation of the Orion Cheque. And they were the little travel coins that they would use, right? But now we want to get to this over here, and I got a variety of these, and these are the Colonial Cubits. These are the coolest little props I've ever seen. I just remember watching those scenes on Carillon where they just had the hundreds and hundreds of cubits all over the place, and these were the coolest little things. And so I started collecting these as well. Now, the funny thing about it is I actually have 5 different versions of Cubits. And the first ones we're going to look at here are, I have these 2 right here. And I'll get some close-ups of them. But these are resin Cubits. Now, I only have 2 of these, and they only come with the little squiggly S design on the back. I have no idea where I got them. They're resin. They're not the shiniest little things, but they're kind of like a brushed antique gold. And they're just resin cubits. I don't know where I got them, how I got them. I think they were, I seem to remember they came free. Like somebody, I ordered something and he included two of these little resin cubits. But now, let me just say right off the bat, personally, I would stay away from resin cubits. I don't know if any of them are available anymore. None are, at least resin ones. You still can get metal cubits, and that's the good one, and I'll talk a little bit about that. Now, I also have 5 of these, and they look a little more bronze colored, like a antique bronze. And these only come in the little squiggly S design. And I'll get a close-up of those. They're slightly larger, as you can see here. I'm not sure if you can see on the tabletop here. They're about almost a 1/4 inch taller than the other resin ones. I have 5 of these. Again, not sure where I got them. I cannot remember. They're okay, but they're a little rough, but they're pretty good. But I would just say, yeah, stay away from resin cubits. But what's the point? Cubits should be metal, right? They were coins. And so that's why, but somehow I came across some of these resin cubits and I've got some there. So those are those right there. Now, we switch to the metal. I have actually 3 types of metal cubits. The first one are these here. Now, I have 4 of these, and they're 2 sets, and they do come in like the little L version and the S version, and they're not as shiny, but they're very nice metal cubits. They got a nice little weight to them. You can hear them clank, which is how it should be. And so I've got 4 of these. Again, I have no idea where I got these from. Just saw them out there offered, I guess, and wanted to try them. I just kind of left them like this. I haven't repainted or anything like that. But these are very nice cubits, right? Just solid metal cubits with the little gold enamel on there. The next ones, and I'm kind of going up to the best quality and the best looking ones. I've got a pair of these, and it's just 1 pair. As you can see, it's 1 each, the L and the S. And these are really nice. They're metal. They're a little shinier, which is really nice. They're a great size. Perfect, and got a nice little weight to them. And they're slightly different because the paint is just a little bit different. It's a little bit off. And I've got 2 of them, and that's all I've got. Again, I have no clue as to where I got them from. And all these older cubits, I just don't know where I got them from. But that's what I have. So these 2 are metal, and they just look a little different. That's why I know these are separate. And now we come to the ones where you can actually get it. And that's these right here. These are metal cubits, and these are, look at this, just this highly shiny. This is the best rendition of the cubit I've ever seen. These are so nice. And I'm going to put a link down below. There's an eBay seller called Padlu that sells these. And he normally, you get them in a set, okay, per pair, right? The S and the L versions. And what happens is he normally sells them for $13.99 a pair. But here's the key. If you buy at least 4 pairs, get them in bulk, the price will drop down to $11.89 a pair, which puts them in at basically $5.95 per cubit, which is the cheapest price you're ever going to get for a Battlestar Galactica prop. That's it. It's the cubit. Now, I'll have a video coming up soon of another prop that's $8. It's a little bit more. And those are the 2 cheapest things. But the cubits at $5.95, if you buy in bulk, this will get you the cheapest Battlestar Galactica prop there are. And they're cubits. They're just so cool. I mean, these are awesome. I ended up ordering 7 pairs. So I got a little stash here, 14 cubits. I'm thinking I'm wanting to maybe order again and just get a bunch more. I've used them in my latest fan film and that kind of stuff. And they are metal, gold enamel plated, and these are the awesomest props, I tell you. And they're so cool. You can put them in a little leather pouch or something and carry your cubits around, right, when you want to play Pyramid against Starbuck, and or you go down to Carillon. Just be careful down there, right? So anyway, that's it, right? Orion Cheques and Cubits. The Orion Cheques, they were only ever made in resin. They are no longer available, but the Cubits are, and there are several vendors, right? The Padlu's not the only place, but I have noticed that if you buy in bulk from Padlu, that seller on eBay, you will get the cheapest per unit price at $5.95 per cubit. And that's the cheapest you can get. And that way, that allows you to get more. And you can build up your stash of Colonial Cubits. So there you go, right? Colonial Cubits and Orion Cheques today. My prop review on Battlestar Galactica Remembered. Hope you enjoyed those. Go out there and get yourself a pile of cubits and start playing Pyramid as well. So long live Battlestar Galactica, and I will see you in the next video.